Hi, I'm Carrie and thank you so much for joining me on Puzzle Kinder today. Now, if you look up the word autism, Asperger's, ASD, neurodivergent on the spectrum, you're very likely going to get a list of symptoms, a checklist, so to speak, that you can check, does this person possibly have autism or not? But that doesn't help you to step into the world or to understand the inner world of someone that is on the spectrum, their inner struggles, their personal preferences, what makes them come alive. You're not going to know that from looking at a checklist. Now, when I took my kids, I've got two of them that are on the spectrum, to an intensive therapy program, the psychologist there said, you've often heard it said of kids that are on the spectrum, he or she, they're in their own world. Well, that is true in many, many respects. These kids or people that are on the spectrum kind of have their own world. And if I had to imagine what this world looked like, it probably wouldn't be too noisy, because these kids or these people are often very, very sensitive and overloaded from a sensory point of view. It might just have chicken nuggets, French fries, and cookies in this world. In this world, everything might be lined up perfectly. If it was my son Adam's world, it would be a farm filled to the brim with tractors. It might be a world where nobody talks to each other. No one wants to hug each other or look each other in the eye. It could be a world that's just full of music. In any case, it's a world that probably looks a little different to our world. And what that means is that these kids having to step into our world, for some of these kids, it's particularly difficult to learn the language, to learn verbal communication and non-verbal communication, because being intuitive is generally not a strength of people that are on the spectrum with ASD. It means having to learn to eat certain foods. And for some, they're absolutely fear-struck at the thoughts of having to try foods with different texture. For others, it's having to make social contact, having to go out into the world where it's loud, and having to learn all of these social cues. It's hard work. It's no wonder these kids so often have meltdowns, because they're having to mask, they're having to learn and to cope with situations that don't come naturally to them. And I'm a South African that lives in Germany. I know the kind of culture shock I experienced right at the beginning. Learning a new language, learning customs. At times I felt very alone. I didn't particularly feel understood. And when someone comes to me and speaks to me in English, or when I go out for a South African meal, a meal that I'm used to, that automatically fills my tank. So that comes to some of the best advice I can give for caretakers, for parents of kids that are on the spectrum, whether it even be friends, siblings, teachers. This psychologist said to us at this specific clinic, he said, try every now and again to step into your child's world and just be there with them, so that they feel seen, they feel understood, they can let the masks fall, they can just be in their safe space and they don't feel alone. And for my son, it would be sitting on the floor with all of his tractors, preferably the green and yellow ones. And all he wants me to do is to love his tractors. And that is his world. And he speaks, he's verbal since the age of 4. And for my daughter, it would be telling her all kinds of stories where the sky is green, it's upside down, and bunnies walk on their ears. She loves that. So every evening I tell her stories in the dark, and then often I play her stories over my Spotify accounts or over the Tony box. And no matter how the day has gone, whether there have been meltdowns, whether it's been lonely, she's allowed to fall asleep and go into dreamland, a happy and content girl. Now that I'm finished giving my 2 cents, you'll be able to click on the link to a video that I just love, because an autism specialist came to my daughter's school, met with her class. They all sat in a circle. They spoke about autism. My daughter was there. They didn't name names, but they spoke about autism. This was at the request of her teacher. And then they watched this video. And at the end, my daughter waited until all the kids had left the class, went up to the specialist and said, "Hi, I'm Audrey, and I'm autistic, and that girl is me." And yeah, that touches me, because when she explained that to me in the car, I could tell she felt understood, she felt seen for who she was. And I must say, the relationships that she has with the classmates in her class have definitely improved. Socially, she still struggles with friendships, but it feels like they understand. There's an understanding. And so she goes to school nowadays, a very, very happy girl. That's made a world of difference. So that's why I would love you to have a watch. You can share this. It's even made for kids. It's an animation video. It's won loads of awards, whether it be siblings, whether it be other family members, educators. This can be a really, really big help. So like the video that you watch, like this video, subscribe, share to anyone that you think this might help. Until next time, bye.